Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. What's going on, Bridge?
What's up?
So, throughout the year, throughout this whole catastrophe that Diddy had going on, we've never really touched base on it, really.
I know.
But it's blowing up all over the internet. Like
hmm
Marlon Wayans, Jay Z, Ja Rule, everybody coming at 50. How do you feel? How do you feel about? Have you watched the documentary?
Yes,
Okay.
several
How do you feel about
times.
the documentary? And how do you feel about how 50 is being portrayed in social media because of it?
Um, I think because there's several different things. Like people trying to say like, oh, he's 50 not innocent. Um, so it's like, how can you do this? How could you judge somebody else when you
Mm-hmm.
do this, that, and the third? Some people looking at him like he's a snitch. Um, I personally look at it like the things that 50 did put out there on the documentary, clearly we have access to it as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? A
Mm.
lot of those
Okay.
things we've been heard of, you know what I'm saying? He just put a film together to highlight and put it in order, you know. I feel like the only thing that we didn't have access to was the clips of Diddy that he recorded himself, like, you know what I'm saying, which
Right.
didn't make him look innocent. So it's like, why are you recording yourself and you made yourself look worse? But okay. Um, and then when it comes to like 50, like, I just think it's a like, okay, I don't, people were saying like he has some domestic violence or something. I don't really remember what it was. I guess with one of his kids' mother allegedly. Um, but it's just like he also don't have the blood of two major hip hop legends on his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
Mm.
like, I think that I think what hurt people the most is that it's like Diddy is such this big icon that it's like they said in the documentary, no one can ever say there will ever be another Diddy. No, there's never been a producer as big as him. You know what I'm saying? A record label as big as him within a black community. He's done things that he's paved the way that other people have not. But I think sometimes even with that, people put people like that on a pedestal, and no, it's not for anyone to judge, but it's like if on your way up, it's you're pushing people down to get up,
Yeah.
involving
Yeah.
murders and stealing and not doing right by people, then it's like you really don't deserve this title, you know what I'm saying, that you're at. You don't deserve to be put on this pedestal.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, 50 might have done dirt, but it's like not to the extent of what we've seen Diddy done, you know what I'm saying? And majority of what he's done was all for his own selfish gain. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
even when they talked about him doing his artist dirty, like I'm not gonna say 50 Cent ain't never, had his beef with his own peoples, you know what I'm saying? But 50 Cent has put a lot of our people onto money,
Yeah.
so
Now that's true.
yeah. What do you think about it?
So I'm not a 50 fan. I'm not a big 50
You
Cent fan.
not?
Nah, I never have been.
Okay.
Um, but even with that being said, the documentary itself, did he put a lot of that stuff together thinking he was going to get off, and he didn't, so it fell into somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
Because all of that footage was kind of like a aha, you know what I'm saying, I got off kind of footage, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not how it panned out for him.
Yeah.
Did he get what he deserved? That's between him and his God. His 50 months in jail is nothing for all of the things he's done through the years.
Right.
Um, so I'm not a real big Diddy fan either. Um, I think 50 kicking him when he's down is kind of just his way of being petty. That's kind of who he is. And if you don't know that about 50, you've been living under a rock for the last 50 damn years. Like that's who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? He's petty. If you ever did anything to him, he's gonna find a way to get back at you. He's gonna do it in the most public way possible. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done it to Ja Rule. He's done it to Rick Ross. He's going to come at you. So if you do
Yeah.
him dirty, expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, expect it. And from what I understand, Diddy did some dirty shit to him.
Yeah.
So, and he's never let it die. He's just always kept coming at him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with everybody coming at 50, though, I got kind of mixed feelings on that. So,
Okay.
like, Ja Rule, I understand that. He ruined your career, dude. Like you got to find a way to get back at him. Like he killed your career. So
I know. And Ja Rule used to be. I used to be a big Ja Rule fan.
yo, Ja used to be hot, and then 50 made him not. It was
I know.
crazy.
I know.
It was crazy. Um, Marlon Wayans, I don't understand him getting into it. Like that's not your lane. Like you're not hip hop. I'm
Right.
saying, yes, you're part of the black community, all that great, but that's not really your lane. So unless you really know what happened,
Mm-hmm.
stay out of it. You know,
Yeah.
um, I like. I don't see his feed into it. Same thing with D.L. Hughley, who also came at 50 Cent.
He did.
And I'm like,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't see that. Okay.
yeah. And I'm like, DL now DL is he's a little different because he's also like an entertainment kind of personality. So he talks about stuff like that on his show.
Yeah.
I get it, but to come at him like personally, you can talk about the documentary, whether it was done in good taste, bad taste. That's a different thing. But to come at 50 Cent personally, I think it's a little outside of his lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jay-Z, on the other hand, Jay also came at 50.
He did. I didn't
Well,
see that. I guess
yeah.
that's why he had the 50 had that little drawing or whatever. Jay Z.
Yeah, Jay called him a big kid. He need to grow up, um, stop being petty. Um, I can see where Jay comes into it because there was allegations made towards Jay in association with Diddy. Um, so he might feel like even though the documentary didn't have anything about him, since he was trying to, some people try to pull him in to other situations. It was kind of a stab at him. So I can understand Jay and I can understand Ja Rule, DL and Marlon. I don't get it. Like,
I think I think another thing too is like, don't get me wrong, we already know that both 50 Cent and Diddy have they past, of not really caring for each other, you know what I'm saying? But we also have to think about the fact that, like, 50 Cent is a producer. Not only do he produce, like, the whole Power series and stuff like that, but he also was doing like a hip hop true crime too. I don't quote me on the exact name of it, but it was like he highlighted rappers that done got murdered. That was a series he
okay.
been had that, so a lot of people don't know that it's like, yeah, him and Diddy have their history, but he also, it's not like he hasn't done things like this before where he's highlighted major rap icons, in a black community specifically that got murdered, and do like a little true crime documentary based on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's, and I think the only difference is why everyone's coming for him. Yeah, I guess because they both have a past, but it's like, what is the difference between him doing this documentary and other people, maybe of other races, that have done documentaries on our people for years, and y'all have nothing to say to them? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you mad at the black man for tearing another black man down. I get it, like, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, he's in it to win it. He in it to make money. Like, it's just unfortunate they both just don't like each other. But he looked at it like a moment capitalized off of his downfall. But I mean, has Diddy not capitalized off of Biggie when Biggie passed away? You sat there and is capitalized off of someone's death. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's, while people want to sit here and talk about karma, 50 is a cancer. Sometimes like you get what you give out. You know what I'm saying? So he has sat there and capitalized on people's downfall his entire career. So we gonna be mad at 50 for doing it because y'all have a history of not liking each other.
I didn't look at it that way, because Diddy definitely capitalized on other people. Nisha said the name of the show is 50 Ways to
Yes.
Catch a Killer.
Okay.
So once again, I'm not a 50 fan, but check it out. I'm sure that's an interesting view, because there's been a lot of rappers who've been killed over the years, and a lot of people don't know the stories behind it.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. Once again, not broadcasting because I'm a fan, but I just think it'll
I'm
probably
a
be a
fan
good
of
view.
50. I don't care. And the thing is, I'm a music person, so like some people can't, but for the most part, I can separate music from the artist, like, or from the producer, whatever the case may be, because I'm just a music person. Like, so I'm
Hmm.
not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I don't like music that Diddy has produced, but I definitely was a Ja Rule fan, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I was definitely a 50 fan, and it was I ain't gonna lie, I hated that when 50 like stole his career from him. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I hated to see it, but at the same time, I look at it like, so now y'all got all this energy for another grown man that's really none of y'all business. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are y'all
Yeah,
happening? This really don't got nothing to do has nothing to do with you. And also, this is another thing. Like, do you think if the roles was reversed, would Diddy be defending you the way that y'all are claiming y'all not defending him, but y'all are though? You know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
and that's a good point. Like
you
he
talking
would.
about even in the documentary, you talking about some of his artists when they was flat broke. He's like,
Hmm.
sorry, can't help you. Or the girl when she's trying to, I don't know, she was trying to get a lawyer, whatever, to fight a custody battle. 5,000 to a billionaire? You talking about you ain't
Right.
got 5,000? That's
Yeah.
where you become greedy, you know. So I don't know. I just look at it
And
like if he wouldn't even help the people that helped him make him who he is, make him part of making him a billionaire, what make you think if you was in his position that he would be going so hard for y'all? You know what I'm
right, he
saying?
wouldn't be
Like
talking about it. He'd be
50
quiet
Cent is
about
a
it right now.
businessman. At the end of the day, it's not personal, it's business. I mean, people looking at it like personal because they have their history. Diddy was talking to 50 baby mother, but at the end of the day, he's a businessman. We're not gonna deny that. He said what
Right.
he did BMF, you know what I'm saying? It's not like this is not something that he does. You know what I'm saying? He
Okay.
talks about our culture and he makes films and series, you know, and it's like any other thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his lane now. He's a producer. That's what he's become. So it's like y'all gonna be mad because he getting money. If y'all feel like Diddy didn't do it, then y'all put another documentary out showing that Diddy ain't who 50 claiming him to be.
Oh, that would be a lying documentary because he did all that shit. He did
I
every
mean,
bit
you
of
know what
that
I'm
shit.
saying? Like I don't know, but I don't agree with because like I said, there have been so many people that have put out, even if it's not hip hop, it's so many people that put out documentaries and true crimes and highlight things that yeah, technically they have no they can't prove it, right? But I'm a true crime junkie. That's I don't really watch
Yeah.
stuff, but if I watch anything, that's what I watch. You know what I'm saying? So you have so many documentaries, so many true crimes that highlight that this person could be the one, you know what I'm saying? And no one is coming at any of those producers. And those are average people. Cause like at the end of the day, people want to keep putting Diddy on this platform and this pedestal, but then he's a human being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if he's
Yeah.
wrong, then he is wrong. You know what I'm saying? If he did these things allegedly, then he should be held to the same circumstance as any other human being because the only difference between Diddy and me is you just got more money and
Right.
fame. You know what I'm saying? But if you doing dirt, that okay, we just gonna ignore that you doing all of this dirt and you really a evil ass person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? You know what I'm saying? So and then not just that, people want to respect you, but if you ain't did right by people on the way to the top, that's not respectable.
Yeah, your downfall was inevitable because whoever you see on the way up, especially people who you kick on the way up, those are the same people that you see on the way down, and that's what Diddy is seeing. Like,
Yeah.
um, I think so. For years, I mean, even when Bad Boy was at his height, I used to always say, Diddy will make you famous, but he's never gonna make you rich.
Yeah.
Um, and you saw that with Black Rob. You saw that with what's the one dude that had the song Special Delivery? Um, I can't think of his name right now. He never he never really made any money off it, and his song went, if not platinum, went gold.
Yeah.
Never saw any real money off of it. If you find him in Harlem, he's like everyday dude. Um, and that goes for everybody else that Diddy has touched their career.
Right.
So and I don't know all of the truth behind, you know, Pac and Big. I do know, well, I don't know for a fact, but based on things I've heard, um, Big was getting ready to leave Bad Boy because
Right.
his money wasn't right. So
Right.
he was getting ready to leave Bad Boy, and miraculously he dies, and Diddy still has control of his masters so many years later.
Right.
Um, so that's a conspiracy theory, I guess, but I mean,
And
all of the
and
things that he's done to so many people, especially women, his downfall was inevitable. It was just gonna happen. Same as R. Kelly, like it was just inevitable.
right. I think Nicole said Marlon was saying he said people can't, I guess people can't paint a picture based off of what they show you. But the thing is, that's the thing. We as the people already had in our mind what we always thought. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like even me, like even though I grew up in the '90s, like you know what I'm saying, I grew up listening to Biggie and all that. So yeah, I was real young when all that happened. But
Hmm.
there are so many and Don, tell me if I'm wrong. There are so many documentaries on Tupac and Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Then they
Yeah.
have the movies. Now, if you really are fans of both of them and you sat there and watched all the movies, all the documentaries, you know what I'm saying? Some of that stuff was the same stuff that was put in here, but it was just put in a timeline where it's like it talks about both of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But majority, some of the stuff that's in there we already knew. We already came up with
Yeah.
what we thought happened, and exactly what he talked about in this documentary was what I always felt in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Some people didn't feel that way, but I've always felt that he had allegedly something to do with Biggie's murder. I always felt that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people would be like, well, why? That's his own artist. But like you said, Don, because you heard of his contract was ready to end and he wasn't happy, and maybe because it was all this beef and stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure you probably thought the same thing that I thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I always felt like he could have possibly had responsibility to do with both of their murders. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what this documentary highlighted, you know.
Yeah. Because I know from what I hear, Big was getting ready to get with. I don't know if you know who Undies is. He's another
Uh-huh.
producer.
Okay.
And he was going with him to form a company called Entertainment.
Okay.
So and he was gonna leave Diddy. But on the flip side of that, Pac was also thinking about getting away from Death Row Records because Pac wanted to push his thug life thing um, because Pac wanted to start awakening people. Like
Mhm.
if anybody knows anything about Tupac, no saying he was a very intelligent guy. And he even said like his thug persona was just to grab people's attention, but his ultimate goal was to educate them. He wanted to get
Mhm.
on a Black Panther type movement and educate people on that. So there's a lot. there's a lot to unpack behind their deaths, and I'm sure like that was a small part of that documentary.
Mm-hmm.
That, as a matter of fact, to be quite honest, and I know this sounds horrible, if you look at the documentary, that wasn't the worst thing he did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that wasn't the worst thing that he did. If he's actually guilty of that, the things that he did to women is so much worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can I can say Big and Pac knew they kind of knew their end date. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They rapped about it. They always talked about it when you know what I'm saying that like they wasn't gonna make it 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. But to like listen to what was it, Aubrey O'Day, and she was reading something from one of the trial transcripts where she got raped and didn't even know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing that it's like people be talking like, oh well, these women came to these parties and y'all knew what y'all was doing. How you gonna know what you're doing if you go to a party and get drugged?
Right,
Now, if you
right.
decide to go back to another party after you can't remember anything that happened and maybe your body feeling a little off, then yeah, then you can sit there and be like, all right, if you knew you
Mm-hmm.
don't remember anything that happened, clearly your ass shouldn't have made it to another party. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
how you gonna blame somebody that was unconscious and don't remember that they were drugged and someone was taking advantage of them? You know what I'm saying? Because even so, if I decide to go to an industry party and I decide to drink, even if someone decided to use a substance, that doesn't mean that you just get to rape my body.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and did I give you consent? You know what I'm saying? Are we both sober enough to be like, hey, I give you consent? No. But if you gotta sit here and drug women or men or whoever it is, you know, and to take advantage of them and rape them, like that's completely wrong, you know?
And the
Um,
crazy thing is, he didn't have to. He had enough
right.
money that women would have been banging down the door
Yeah.
just to have an opportunity to say, "I slept
Yeah.
with Diddy." Like, but he
Exactly.
did it more so of a power thing. Like, it was his way of having power over people because he
Yeah.
would videotape it.
Yeah, or even violate them in other ways that some people might not be okay with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody not okay with doing every sexual thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's true.
So, you know, it's like, oh, she knocked out, let me do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you said, it was a power thing. Like,
Yeah.
I got all this power, you know. I don't know. I think he, you know, I don't
Because
know.
even the stuff that he did to guys, like I don't. Do I think Diddy's gay? Nah. But it's like I have power over you. I can control you. I can do whatever I want to you, and you're gonna do it because I'm Diddy. Um, like even having people walking around calling him daddy, like the whole Puff Daddy thing. Okay, Puff Daddy, cool. But they like people would really walk around. His staff would walk around calling him daddy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, where's your mind at? How much control do you have to have? You already got the money, so the money gonna bring you power. Why do you have to do these things to people? Um, like one of the, I think it
The
was
mind of a
the dude,
narcissist. And if a
very much
narcissist
so,
get money and fame, they're extremely dangerous.
very much so, especially a weak narcissist,
Yeah.
somebody who's weak, who's really weak. Because I think they said in the documentary how he couldn't be a thug, so he would always try to mimic thugs,
Yeah.
or yeah, like
That and the fact that he's continuously changed his names. He has a personality disorder. That's being a narcissist. You
yeah,
know, he
yeah.
displays heavy signs of being a narcissist. You know, and to me, I think those are the worst type. First of all, we talked about it in the last episode about how people like to verbally and mentally abuse people. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Hmm.
control thing. They're controlling the mind. That's what narcissists do. So a narcissist who has money and fame, like look what regular narcissists do when they're trying to mentally manipulate and
Right.
control people. Imagine someone who is rich and has power. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel
Yeah.
like they're untouchable. You know, nothing is off limits to them. It's very dangerous.
And that's what he thought. He thought he was untouchable. So did R.
Yeah.
And I am a R. Kelly fan, crazy
Me
enough,
too. Me too.
but he did the same thing. He felt like he got away with it one time. You know, he dodged a bullet. He didn't go to jail. So you
Well, it's not
it
even that. You got to think with narcissists, they really don't. They're not empathetic. They don't see that they did
yeah
anything wrong. They're more worried about covering it up and being in denial about what they did, as you see in the documentary, but
yeah
never take
yeah
accountability. Like, other than when the video came out of Cassie, you can't deny what we all can see. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So they
Everybody
had
saw
to,
that.
because guess what? Before that video came out, wasn't he denying it?
Hell yeah, and the fact that he
Exactly.
kept the video, like,
Exactly. Before the video came out, he denied it. Then when it was
mm-hmm.
like, it's no denying it because we all see it. Now you have to issue a apology. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
wasn't no real apology because narcissists, they don't think that they're doing anything wrong. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But he
And the
knew that.
apology itself was fake. Like, it
Yeah,
was a horrible
he was
apology.
acting like he was crying and shit. So
Yeah,
it's just like you did that to save yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't because you really felt bad for what you done. You did
yeah,
that to save yourself, your image. Well, you tried to. You know what I'm saying? But he don't see nothing. He don't see anything wrong with what he did because, oh, let me talk to the witnesses. Oh, I need to find the dirtiest of the dirtiest lawyers that dealt with the dirtiest of dirtiest case. Not like,
mm-hmm.
dang, like I messed up, like I deserve this. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, do anybody want to sit in jail the rest of their life, especially when they got all that money and they're technically a single father to some of their children? Like, no, of course nobody wants to sit in jail, but it's like you have no empathy when it comes to nothing that you've done. You know what I'm saying? You just worried
Yeah,
about denying it, not taking no accountability, like I don't know.
yeah. And he kept saying, "Why are they doing this to me?" Not taking responsibility for the things he's done. Every
Yeah,
time it was another lawsuit, somebody else is coming at me. No, they probably coming at you for something you did. Like, you
right.
did it. Just get off the camera and stop with the victim. Woe is me. Like,
Hmm.
if he'd have just sat quiet, let things kind of unravel, I think a lot of the other stuff wouldn't have come out. But the more he talked about it, the more he acted as if I'm the victim. Everybody's trying to come at me.
Hmm.
I'm absolutely 100% innocent. That,
Hmm.
that just made more people go, nah, I can't let this. I can't let this pass.
Yeah, and then you also have people that be like, oh well, why now? All these people, I think it's at 100 people,
Mm-hmm.
and why now? Why now? First of all, if this man was putting hits on people,
Right.
are you really gonna try to come for their fortune?
Right.
But the
Right.
thing is, even with people who are survivors of abusers and stuff like that, it's like a lot of them are silenced because they feel like they'll be retaliated on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they see one strong person come out, then they say, okay, now I feel safe. Because it's like having an army with you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, now
Yeah.
you do that alone, you fear for your life, which some of them was on there saying, I'm still fearful for my life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because of retaliation. And that's why some people don't come out when they've been abused and stuff like that. People be like, well, why now? It happened all this time. I mean, allegedly, they saying this man got people's blood on his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he was orchestrating murders and stuff like that, would you be quick to go to the police and say this man raped me or whatever the case may be? If you know that you know what I'm saying? Like,
And getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? And got away with it for
exactly,
years.
exactly. It's just like a smart person, a logical person, you want justice, but at the same time, you don't want to be killed because you're speaking up, which
Right.
happens a lot when it comes to abuse, period. We're not even going to just talk about this whole Diddy stuff, but in general, because I feel like people always like, why all these people just all of a sudden coming out now? Because a lot of people are retaliated on. Let me shut you up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to
Yeah.
speak on this? I'm gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real thing. So that's why a lot of people go years and years without saying something, and then when they see people speaking up, people have support, then they feel safe to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that tears people up, people who are survivors of abuse, to live with that trauma inside of you and feel like you're silenced and you can't ever speak on what someone did to you. That haunts you, you know. So if they're ever able, just like we talked in the last episode, if they're ever able to speak their truth and put it out there, that frees them from that.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, some people ain't lying, some people ain't looking for money. Yeah, you got that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't say that every person that waits to speak up is just out to get money. You can't say that they're lying about what happened. You know what I'm saying? If somebody got a rap sheet of doing a certain thing, it's hard not to believe that people who are speaking up ain't victims.
yeah. There was definitely and I don't know what the ratio of the 100 is like real and what's not, um, but there was a lot of truth, especially when certain things come out that only happen behind closed doors. Like
Right.
there's some truth to that, and there's some money grabs. And for the people who trying to grab money, I urge them to sit down, because what you're doing is you're giving him fuel to diminish other people's cases,
Right.
people who was actually hurt through the
Mm-hmm.
things that he did. Um, but enough about Diddy. Enough about Diddy. Um, Marlon, you're my dude. Chill though, like
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
chill. Um, 50's gonna be who he gonna be, and you did say something that was really true. 50 made money off of this because that's what he does now. You know what I'm saying? He's not rapping anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's producing TV footage. You know what I'm saying? And he's a director. He's a producer now. So that's what he's doing. So
Yeah.
I don't like 50. I don't really like all the
I
things that he do, but get your money, homie. Get your
Yeah, and
money.
I think that this is just highlighted because of the person, but this is not like Diddy has not spoken on murders of rap icons, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
or rappers, period. That's how I know about the other, what is it, 50 Ways to Catch a Killer, because one of my favorite New York rappers, they had an episode on his murder. You know what I'm saying? But it was produced by 50 Cent, so it's not like he hasn't done stuff like this and spoke on people's murders.
right.
Um, it's just the person that he's speaking on now is a very, very popular person.
Yeah. And that's why everybody's making a big deal about it. But what's up, Ange? Everybody's making a big deal about it because he's talking about Diddy. But
Yeah.
if he did a documentary about somebody else who sexually assaulted somebody, nobody would have cared about it. You know what I'm saying? They'd
Yeah.
have watched it because 50 Cent put it out and left it alone. Um,
Right.
but check out 50 Ways to Catch a Killer. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm definitely
It
gonna
is
check that
good.
out. Because I know if nobody else is in there, I'm sure there's footage in there about Pop Smoke and other
Mm-hmm.
people who got murdered. So check it out. Um, Brez, let's talk about social chameleons.
Yeah.
Social chameleons. For those who are watching who don't know what a social chameleon is, that's somebody who gets around any group of people or any other person, and they start to mimic and change themselves to become that, or be in that person's ways. Like they start to do things that mimics that person's ways. Um, do you think that that's a negative thing? Do you think it's just human nature? Like, how do you look at that?
Um, I feel a few ways about it. I think I think it could be negative if you are doing it without like showing love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like hypothetically, for example, if it's like somebody you personally know, whether it be they style or something, or they was the first ones to get something, and it's like you sitting back just watching everything, but you not liking it. Like, oh, that bag is so cute. Like, where'd you get it from? But you're like trying to do and get everything that they get, but you ain't trying to like pay homage or like show love to this
Right.
person. Then you're a hater. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you literally want to be me. Like, um, I feel like it's also to the person, whoever they trying to mimic. I feel like it's low key a compliment because it's like clearly you're so original
Yeah.
that people want to be like you. You know what I'm saying? And then in other ways, I feel like it's corny too. You know what I'm saying? Because I be
Yeah.
this is what I be thinking is corny, which people probably think other stuff maybe that I think is cool is not corny. It's corny. I don't know. But one thing I can't stand is when like people will take memes and like say a meme is going viral and then it's like people are rewriting the status on Facebook and acting like they created it. Like, you can't be original, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Just screenshot it. So you give the
Yeah, or
person
like
their
and I don't
credit.
know if people are doing it to get engagements or whatever the case may be, but um I don't know, because and the thing is it's like we get everything from people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
certain trends and stuff, but it's like where I think it is negative if it's like you trying to be me so bad that you really think that you're me. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm inspired, but I think I'm you. Like you ain't me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why I would say it's negative. What you think, Don?
So I've seen people do it as more of a human nature thing.
Mm-hmm.
We we start to become the environment that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's human nature. I've seen people do it so badly that they lose who they are.
Yeah.
So the person that they really are is totally lost, because now they're interacting with a certain group of people or a certain person. Um, and that's where it becomes negative, because now you're losing yourself. Um, I've seen people who may have spent, I don't know, a couple of years in New York, and you catch them anywhere in the world now, and they be like, "Yeah, I know, say I'm from New York or whatever," and I'm like, "You're not from New York. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you spent time there. That's great. I live in Baltimore right now. I am not from Baltimore. I would
Mm-hmm.
never ever disrespect Baltimore and say, you know, what I'm saying I'm from here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for a while. That's cool. I'm not going to try to mimic the ways. I may joke around about the ways, but I'm gonna be a New Yorker. Like that's who I am. That's where I'm from.
Right.
Um, and I've seen one lady who she started hanging around with a certain group of ladies, and because all of the women that she hung around with had locks, even though she wasn't comfortable enough to get locks in her hair, she went and got faux locks just so she can blend in with the people. And I'm like, nah, kind of be you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want locks, go get locks. But if you don't feel
Right.
comfortable with having locks, don't get faux locks just to blend in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand it, but then I watched over time, and I'm like, so any group of people that she gets around, that's what she does.
Yeah.
She becomes that group. Like she becomes the people that she's around, and that's when you start to lose your own personality, you start to lose your
Mm.
own self.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge negative.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it has a lot to do with people not knowing their identity,
mhm.
or they struggle with identity issues. When it's like, and also like because they look at it like, well, they get a certain type of attention. Everybody likes them, so I got to do what they do. So people, it's like kind of like the validation, like the acceptance type thing. You know what I'm saying? When it's like you could literally just be true to yourself and the people that's for you will adapt. They will come to you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to change who you are at your core, to fit in with a certain type of people. Stay true to yourself. I feel like I feel like most times, even when people lose themselves, trying to keep up or be like someone else, I really feel like over time, as you get older, most people go back to their true selves, but it's like, and I think it's the same thing like what we talked about the last time of just like not seeking validation and knowing who you are and being okay with who you are, and not caring about what people think, you know, um, it's just like if you are a gamer and you like to game, like you're a gamer. Like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Because guess what? Like, there are women that like to game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like some women don't look at it like that. It's like, oh, he's always on the game. He a grown man on the game. That's immature. No, because there are women that like to play the game with men. It's some women that don't find nothing wrong with that. So those are your people. You know what I'm saying? Some people like
right.
watching anime. Some people think anime is nerdy. Some people don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't be ashamed of the things that you love, because that's what makes you unique and makes you who you are, and the people that like the same things that you like will come to you. Those will be your people, you know what I'm saying? Because you sitting there trying to be unhappy, just like we talked about the last time, you'll never be fulfilled. You're gonna feel like you're missing something because you're not being your authentic self, you know.
Yeah, and you can't keep up the facade but for so long.
Mhm.
Eventually, if you have a true self, it's going to come out. Now, if you don't
Yeah.
have a true self, people are going to notice that every time you get around a new group of people, you start to become those people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now they're going to label you a fake, like you just fake, like
Right.
you don't have a personality of your own.
Right.
Um, and I think that it comes from people not being able to be their true selves
Yeah.
so long that they suppress whoever they at one point believed they really were, and now they just try to mimic whoever they feel is cool.
Right.
Um,
Uh, like
go
Don,
ahead.
what do you think are some ways that people who struggle with identity and their true selves, what are some things, just off the top of your head, that you think people can do to try to find their own identity? Because some people just don't have an identity, especially if you just lived your life to please everyone else, you know what I'm saying? You never sat with
Mhm.
yourself. So like, to me, like, finding your identity is kind of like a road of self-discovery. So is there any things that you could think of that people can do to try to figure out like what you love to do?
I think you kind of said it when you were just speaking. Spend time with yourself. You
Yeah.
know, spend time doing things alone.
Yeah.
Um, if you, of course, therapy, because that's something that definitely requires therapy. Because if you don't know who you are at your core, you'll fall for anything. Like you'll constantly, if you hang around people who do drugs, you'll start doing drugs. If you hang around people who self mutilate, you'll start self mutilating.
Yeah.
But if you find out who you are, and in order to do so, you got to spend time with yourself doing things that you actually enjoy doing.
Right.
Um, you can't constantly, every time somebody says, "Well, we're gonna go do this," you go do it just because you
That
don't want to spend time by yourself. You know what
you
I'm
know what
saying?
I was gonna use this example. I swear, Don, like you must have been reading my mind. That's like, it's people around me, right, that are concert people. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people around. They love going to concerts, and I had to be real with myself recently because I got invited to a, who was it? I can't even think of his name. What's his name? A Gunna concert. My sister
Okay.
went to a Gunna concert and she had two extra tickets. So she's like, Bridget, you and somebody, you can invite somebody else, but hit up one of your friends, like, And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. And I'm like, and then it was like the next day, I had to tell her, I said, I don't think I'm a concert person. She was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, I'm more of a comedy show person, but I'm
Yeah,
not a concert person, and I don't believe I ever
me
have been.
neither.
stay true to who you are.
Who
You
you
love
are.
what you love, because that's what makes you unique, makes you who you are, you know. I just don't see the point of concerts. I look at it like, well, it's not like I get to meet you up and close the person. To me, I could just put my Apple Music on and listen to your music on there. You
For
know,
free.
why would be around all these people that I can't stand and don't get away from me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I can touch you, like, so that's just how I feel, like, you know what I'm saying? And even like, so I realized, like, because I've done it before. I've done it where I like
Hmm.
agreed to going to a concert and I'm like, oh my God, like now I gotta go. And and so now I'm just like, no, Bridget, you're not a concert person. So it's just like, miss me with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
love you. And it's been times with my sister, she's a concert person. She wanted me to go so bad. And I'm like, so you want me to pay $100 something to see somebody that I don't really want to see? You really want me
From
to do that?
afar.
Yeah.
You're not even gonna be up close to see him from afar. You
I'm
know what
like,
I'm saying?
huh? Like, but that's her thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's like, yeah, like you said, like, just do what you like to do and don't feel like you have to give in to what other people want you to do. Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Like, I had to be real with myself. Like, this ain't my thing. Like, I realize I really am sick and tired of people keep asking me to go to concerts. The answer is no. I'm not going. Now I'm a comedy show person. To me, that makes me feel good. I love to laugh, and I love that comedy
Right.
shows are more like you don't really know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. That's the thing that makes me feel happy. Like, but yeah, like you said, I feel like be real with what you like. I think another thing too is try new things, because even for me, I never realized that I wasn't a concert person until I went to some concerts and I realized this isn't me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it is going to require you to try new things for you to realize this is for me, this isn't for me. I do like to do this, I don't like to do this, and that can come with anything. And yeah, either try with your friends, try them alone, and then you can sit there and really realize, like, this is my lane and I'm gonna stay in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you don't have to be ashamed about what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
You
some
don't have
people,
to feel bad.
yeah, like some people with some things that it's kind of like the people who watch anime, but Comic-Con, people be going to Comic-Con and
Hmm.
conventions, and like, it's all different type of things. Do not be ashamed of what you like, because when you get there, those are your people. If you like concerts, you get the concerts, those, and they like the same artists you like, those are your people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Network, made a friend, you know don't, and then that's what makes you who you are, and that makes you stay true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's really what I think.
Um, like I'm not a real big concert person. So much
Hmm.
so, like my wife goes to concerts. She loves concerts. She loves the live music. She loves the atmosphere.
Yeah.
When she went to Usher, when she went to go see Usher, luckily I think it was Usher. Yeah, her mom and her then went with her. She
Damn,
went
I
to go
would have
see
went to go
somebody
see Usher.
else.
I ain't gonna lie.
And
I'm a
she
little
went to see
jealous.
another concert, and she was like, "You gonna go?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll drop you off, pick you back up, so you ain't gotta drive your car down, and you ain't gotta worry about parking." But
Yeah.
that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not real big on concerts. But I've probably been to, no lie, 4 concerts my entire life.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was one, Biggie was the other.
Oh, damn.
Um,
Okay, Don.
I went to uh my older sister took me to a reggae concert, but it was like a lot of old school reggae artists, so I did want to go to that.
Yeah.
And then when I used to film the TV show, I went to Rick Ross's concert.
Okay.
Um,
I.
and even though it was good, it wasn't
Hmm.
bad,
Yeah.
but I kept looking at my watch like, all right, come on, when's
Yeah.
this over?
I've went to a few, and like Nisha said, she said I don't love concerts, I love certain artists. I've been to some concerts. Like, I have seen Rick Ross. I seen Jada Kiss, which was cool. I
Hmm.
seen Dipset. That was cool because I'm a Dipset fan. I went and seen French Montana and Chinks Drugs. Seen Lil Wayne and and who did I see? I seen like SWB 702. All of them and stuff. And it's like, it's cool. I don't know. Um,
It's just not my atmosphere though.
I think but I ain't gonna lie, that Usher would have been lit because I just like, to me it's funny. I like watching the videos like him and Chris Brown. I feel like they on they like sex icon, shit,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like they teasing the the audience and stuff like that. To me, that's what makes it a really good and not just that, it's like the catalog that Usher and Chris Brown got.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my clients, they went to see Chris Brown. I'm like, get put on the red couch for me. Like, I'm making jokes and shit, but I don't know.
Like
Oh damn, she seen Nipsey and Jasmine Sullivan. I like Jasmine Sullivan, but again, I'm just like, to me, it's just like it's not worth spending the money. Like, I was like,
it's definitely not. Is and these are not up and coming artists. So like Chris Brown has like the Chris Brown experience. Why the hell would you want to spend $1,000 just to go take a picture with somebody?
yeah,
Like,
no, no,
have you lost your damn mind?
yeah,
Here's what you do: Photoshop yourself, take a picture,
right.
and put that shit together, and put it all over social media. People think you see a
I
mini.
mean, I guess because people want to be able to say I met him, but
You meet him for 5 seconds, take a picture. All
right,
right, go bye next. Okay.
right,
Uh,
yeah.
but I know people who like museums
Mm-hmm.
and will go to a museum by themselves.
Yeah.
And for a very long time, I would always be like, yo, how do you do things like that by yourself? Like, how do you go to museums? How do you go to the movies by yourself? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who the hell are you going to tap to say, yo, you see that shit? Like, how do
Right.
you do? But there's people who are so comfortable with themselves, and I admire it, that
Mm-hmm.
are so comfortable with themselves that they can do things that they like by themselves
Right.
and they don't need any company. They're
Yeah.
going to just enjoy it. And they meet people while they're doing it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, like I like law and crime and stuff like that. There used to be a crime and justice museum in DC.
Mm-hmm.
I went there and I'm walking through and I'm finding out all kind of amazing shit.
Yeah.
It took you through like 100 years of crime and punishment. It was called Crime and Punishment Museum.
Okay.
And I enjoyed walking around, like looking at the mock-up of the Alcatraz cell and everything. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And there was people there who enjoyed it. But there's not a lot of people who I could have been like, yo, you want to go to the Crime and Punishment Museum? I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. And the thing is, you can't. That's another thing. A lot of people are. It's like it's things that people do want to try, to figure out, is this me? I really would love to do this
Mm-hmm.
because this is me. Like maybe they know, like already, this is me, but they got that fear because it's like no one will do it with them. But it's like you will really be waiting the rest of your life if you wait on other people, So you do have
Exactly.
to get comfortable with doing things alone, even if people don't want to do it with you, because you'll look back and be like, dang, I missed out on all these experiences just because I didn't have no one to do it with. I feel
Right.
like everyone should have a mentality like, before I leave this earth, I did what I wanted to do here. Um, and the thing is, it's just fear. I think the biggest thing with fear is you have to do the things that you're scared to do. That was something that I like, during the pandemic, I really got focused, like, when the pandemic first hit. And those was things that I challenged myself to do, was things alone, because
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it before, like I've always had anxiety and it's always been my fear. I've always needed low key someone to hold my hand through a lot of even the simpler things in life. So I challenged myself, like, you're gonna go out to eat by yourself, you're gonna go sit at a bar by yourself. And I still struggle with my anxiety to this day, but it's like a lot of, I'm first of all, I'm proud of myself that I have done things alone, but
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I can do it, even if I struggle with it still, it's like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm still gonna go. Like I remember one time it was a fight night and my homegirl was like, oh, we're gonna go, and she backed out at the last minute. And I was like, well, I'm already dressed, my hair is done, my little bit of makeup was on. I'm still going. I share my
Right.
location with both my sisters, and I say, hey, I'm going out by myself. This is my location in case anything happened. And I still went because I'm like, no one's going to stop me from doing the things that I want to do.
Right.
So,
You don't need a crowd to enjoy yourself. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, sometimes you'll enjoy yourself more without the
Yeah.
crowd
Yep.
because you kind of get to just enjoy it in your element. And now you're not sitting there trying to, oh, somebody talk about, oh, I'm ready to go. And you're like, nah, we just got here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm
Right.
enjoying myself. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I don't want to
Exactly.
go.
Exactly. Yep. You absolutely right. Because people will do that. You know, you'll be so excited
Hell
to do
yeah.
something, and then you got a vibe killer. Like, oh my gosh. All right.
And that's why, like, my wife, she is notorious. If she's going somewhere, she's driving herself. Like,
Okay.
if me and her are not going somewhere, and she's going out with her friends,
Hmm.
she's driving herself. She's like, I want my leaving to be on my accord. Like, I'm
And
gonna
I
leave
feel
when I
you
want to.
too with
You
that.
know what I'm saying? If I leave early, I'm gonna leave early because I want to leave early. If I want to
Yeah.
stay, y'all can go. I'm
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Me and Nisha are the same person. Because I'm not gonna lie. People like, oh, you want me to pick you up? No. Because when
Right.
I'm ready to
I got a
go, I'm
car.
ready to go. If I ain't feeling
Yep.
this, I'm leaving. You know, now I'm not going to leave one person by themselves. I ain't going to lie. Like, sometimes I'm a team player. Like, you know, would never leave one of my
Hmm.
homegirls out drinking by herself or nothing like that. But if it's a group of people, yeah, I might just drive by myself, you know.
Like I've been at clubs with some of my boys, and I got a really good friend, and he used to shut the club down. He would
Yeah.
get there at 10, leave at 2. And I'd be sitting there leaning up against the speaker, falling asleep, like, God, can we go, dude? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The people are not changing. It's the same people been here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's find
Yeah.
something else to do. But it's all about finding your own identity.
Yeah.
And we talk about finding your own identity and being yourself. We talk about that a lot on the show, but you really have to, especially in today's time. So many people are doing so many things that is either bad for you or is going to cause you some hurt, harm, or danger. Like, find your element and get around people who you can vibe with. And if that's your vibe, do that. Um, but
Right.
but by all means, find out who the hell you are.
Yeah.
Um,
In a world full of replicas, being original. That's how I look at
be
it.
exactly. And there is a world full of replicas. Everybody's trying to
Hmm.
be what everybody else already has done.
Yeah.
Do something different. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Be
I've never
different.
been to Comic Con. I've talked to people who like anime. It's not really my thing, but I'm like, yo, that's hot for
Hmm.
you. It's
Right.
hot for you. Go do it.
Right.
Go watch anime.
Hmm.
Go to Comic Con. You know what I'm saying? Go fuck. What is it? Fucking larpers and shit, and dress up and play games in the park. I don't care what you do. If it's who you are, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know
Cause
what I'm
it's
saying?
cool
Do
to
what you
somebody. It's
like.
cool. It's cool. And like I said, like your people will be there. The people that is into the same things that you're into will be there, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem. And I didn't think of it just now when you were talking. One of the biggest problems with the dating scene,
Hmm.
you want to go find your mate where everybody else is finding mates. You're not going to find your mate. You're going to find their mate. Go
Yeah.
where you like to go, and you might find somebody who likes the same thing that you like, and they're there alone as well. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Yeah. Not
So
always the
you
case,
ain't
but yeah.
sometimes you got some
Yeah.
fakers who, you know, saying be at the damn museum, they don't know shit that they looking at, but they
Look,
trying to meet
I went
somebody.
to yeah, I went to a lounge the other night with my homegirl because she was having a bad day and I did not want to go. I ain't gonna lie. In the wintertime, I'm a homebody. There's this guy sitting here and talks to me and he like, I'm like, sir, like, and he asked me all these personal questions and he like, oh, I'm 40 and da da da. He trying to make it seem like, well, why am I here? I'm like, you 40 years old in a damn lounge. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Why are
Like,
you
you know.
here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not saying like I wouldn't meet someone in there, but you know, do I really want someone that's out all the time? No, because I'm not really
No,
out all the time. I'm really a
right.
homebody, you know.
Love the
So,
house. I love the house.
yo,
Um,
I don't want to
but
leave the
let's
house.
right, especially in the wintertime. Hell no, my car can't get warm enough. I want to be in the house. That distance from the house to the car, and the car to anywhere I'm going is too long. I
Yeah, I like
I'll
to
go out spring and
hibernate.
fall.
Yeah, I like to hibernate. I pop out in the spring, summertime. I like to come out, have some fun here and there. But either way, I'm still like a homebody naturally. But the wintertime, like,
Yeah.
stop asking me to go out. Like, Oh my God, I can't stand going out in the wintertime. I hate being
and
cold.
and I love and hate at the same time to see women who dress so cute and they got on the short skirt. Girl, it is freezing cold outside. Your coochie
Yeah,
gonna be sneezing. Take
yeah,
your ass in the house and put some clothes on. You ain't
right,
gotta be sexy all year round.
right.
Get your ass in the house.
Yeah, yeah. It's not my vibe. Um, but yeah, my topic is teaching the game of life. Um, I think like, when it comes to a lot of things that are teachable, you can learn things from books and stuff, but I also feel like people learn things with age, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I think part of our responsibility as we are blessed to see another year and as we get older, right? I think it's also our responsibility to teach our younger selves, which could be, anybody like us that is younger than us, the game of life.
Hmm.
Like, I think that's somewhat of what we're missing. Because you gotta also think that everybody wasn't fortunate enough to grow up with both parents,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so some people are missing certain things in their life, that could help them. Of course, you got some people that it's like you can't tell them shit, you know what I'm saying? But you got some people that choose to be wise and they listen so that they don't gotta make the same mistakes as other people. Um, but yeah, I just want to talk about that and talk about the importance of it, and maybe ways, maybe you want to talk about it. Either you can talk about men or women. What do you believe they should be teaching the younger generations? Do you feel like it's their responsibility? Like mentorship, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, and I think we lost that responsibility.
Mhm.
Like it, there was a time when the behaviors of your grandparents or your great grandparents, it was passed down, and you kind of started mimicking a lot of their behaviors, a lot of things that they did,
Mhm.
the right things.
Right.
Some people have had grandparents who didn't do all the right things, but don't gatekeep. You know what I'm saying? That knowledge,
Right.
um, because somebody somewhere is gonna, and it may not be your child. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It may not even be your little sister or your little cousin or your nephew. It may just be a random kid in the street
Mhm.
who just needs somebody to instill in them a little sense of responsibility, a little
Yeah.
sense of drive and determination.
Right.
Um, because a lot of what they see and they have to look up to is the wrong thing,
Mhm.
because the people who are doing the right thing, they're gatekeeping it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They're
Right.
sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna come home and be with my family, and I'm not gonna show this kid who's out in the street or this kid that's growing up without a father. I'm not gonna show him that you don't have to sell drugs to have a
Right.
nice car and a nice house. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
don't have to do these things, but if that's all they see, then you're leaving them to mimic that.
Right. Yeah.
We gotta teach them. Like we
Right.
really, and I can't stand when, like, I used to love sitting down with older people and just listening to things from the past because it was knowledge that I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
firsthand knowledge. Yeah, you could
Right.
read a book about it, but it's different when, like, my dad used to tell me about the Vietnam War, and I used to sit there and just be in awestruck for hours.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could read about it in a book for sure, but he was there. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
was on the ground. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he could tell me the mistakes that he made and how he fixed those mistakes.
Right.
So we definitely have to, you know what I'm saying? Teach business. Like
Right.
a lot of these kids would love to own a business when they get
Mhm.
older. But if
Mhm.
all they being taught is how to work for somebody, that's all they're gonna have to lean on.
Right. Yeah. Um I think like for me, I try to, it's like some things I was taught, and some things I wasn't, some things I had to learn on my own. And I think because I'm in contact with so many different people being a hairstylist, especially, now if somebody's older than me, because it do be older people that are a little older than me that sometimes do come to me and ask me for advice. You know what I'm saying? That's another
Hmm.
thing. You can always learn from people who are younger than you,
Oh yeah.
sometimes. So usually I don't overstep someone because it's like they been here longer than me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's probably stuff they could teach me. But if they ever come to me for advice because they're unsure of something, even them being older, I'm gonna tell them what I think. But I definitely feel like me coming in contact with people who are younger than me, both male and female, I feel like it is my responsibility to teach them the things that I know, if they don't already know those things, and also to just give them some type of reassurance. I have a lot of younger clients that are in their 20s, and one thing I could say with them is compared to my generation, like they are way more responsible than my generation. And a lot of them are like extremely young and they're hard on themselves. So I have to let
Mm-hmm.
them know, like, you are doing so well. And I tell this to young men and the women, but especially the men, because I think the men always like, I feel like women do get a little bit more grace than men, especially
Yeah.
black men. So I have to let the men know that the young men that it's like you're doing so well. You know what I'm saying? For
Mm-hmm.
your age. Stop being hard on yourself. If you keep up what you're doing now, imagine where you'll be when you're 30 or my age. And tell them to have grace and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
and even them being responsible with certain things, it like I said, it's certain things that they don't know because certain things you learn off of just life experience.
Yeah.
So um with the young ladies, and I might have conversations about men, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes our mothers don't have the best relationship with men. So if our mothers didn't have the best relationship with men, they are not able to teach us to have the best relationship with men. So that's definitely something that I'm trying to teach them. And it's not just being biased towards men. It's like I me, I call a spade. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna warn you of certain type of men that you shouldn't involve yourself with, but also you can't be 21 years old dating another 21-year-old man and expecting him to be where a 30-year-old man is. I'm like,
Right.
sis, you
Exactly.
tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's doing very well for his age. Give him grace. He's a baby. And it's not
Right.
on no disrespectful shit. Like, it's being real. So I'll tell them sometimes, like, all right, look, I'm glad, I'm very happy that you got it together. But you can't expect him to be where a 30-year-old man would be. Like, no, I'm not telling you to be naive or nothing. If he being lazy and not having no ambition, okay, yeah, but you got to give him way more grace than you would give somebody that's 30 years old not doing nothing. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I call it what it is, and even financial advice stuff that I've learned, throughout the years. Cause I'd be like, by the time I learned certain things when it involved like credit or clearing your debt, I'm just like, I was mind blown. And so I want us as Black people to build generational wealth. So I'm like, get your credit right so your kids' credit can be right. So it's a generational thing. It's not like, we it's like generations of us struggling, stuff like that. Yeah, like I don't know. And I think with men should be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying, though?
Absolutely.
Like what are some things that you feel like Black men that are, because I feel like it's a responsibility, and it's like you gotta also think at in every we're gonna say every 10 years, you know what I'm saying, you're living a whole different life. The dawn at 50 is not the dawn at 40 or the dawn at 30 or the dawn at 20. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
no.
So I feel like if you get a chance to be around somebody in their 40s, teach them the things that that you struggle with when you was in your 40s, or give them the
Hmm.
reassurance that they need, at 30s,
Right.
20s, whatever. You know what I'm saying? um yeah. So is there things that you feel like, do you feel like the older generation, we gonna specifically say Black men, or women, we can speak on women too, either one, but do you feel like it's specific things that they definitely can you give advice on things that they need to instill in anyone that's younger than them, even if they're 40, 30, or 20, or even younger than that?
So the biggest thing, the one of the things I struggled with probably up until I was probably in my mid 40s, financial responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, because there was a time in my life when money would money would come. You know what I'm saying? I would get money and I would blow it because I knew money was coming right back around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got older and I started doing things the right way,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't quite so easy. That 2 weeks you got to wait for another paycheck is not the same.
Yeah.
Um, and I've always had, I wasn't bad with money, but I wasn't as responsible as I should have been.
Mm-hmm.
At this age, like now, I have a nice nest egg built up. I have a nice savings account built up, stuff like that. But had I started doing that when I was 30 or 40,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would be in a much better place today. Um, I'm not living hand to mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a little bit of money to play with, but just think if I would have started being financially responsible when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Um, if I would have started building my savings account at 35 instead of 45 or
Mm-hmm.
50. You know what I'm saying? So like I look at a lot more women who are doing things, they're going off and doing things and not waiting for that man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're like, okay, I want a house. I'm gonna go buy me a house, whether I'm married or not. I applaud women for that. You know what I'm saying? And I know
Mm-hmm.
some guys who will go out and buy a house. Most guys will go out and rent something, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know that there's so many positives to owning your own.
Yeah.
One thing I did learn early in the game was owning your own is super important.
Yeah.
After I owned my first house, I was like, yeah, I can't live in an apartment. If I do, it's a short stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta buy a house. Um, and I've watched couples around me when I was in my 30s who at this point they paid their house off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're 50 years old, their house is paid off. And I'm like, damn, I could have been there. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of, things that kind of made me take steps back when I should have been moving forward. I get that. But had I been on my game better, and this is one thing like I try to teach my sons. Um, a lot of the things that you're running around trying to do right now, it's not that important. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Put that shit on the back burner. Work hard now so you
Right.
can enjoy life later on.
Right.
Um, it took me till I was what, 50, nope, 49, 50 to get outside the country. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I had never been outside the country, and I used to watch people take trips, and I used to be like, that's so far outside my reach. It is because I'm not financially responsible enough to save some money and go on a trip.
Right.
Um, but now that I've done it, I'm like, shit, that's my new addiction. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to, I'm trying to see another country every 6 months.
Yeah.
Um, so I try to tell my son, I tell my daughter, um, my daughters, um, focus more now on the things that you just need to get established. Build your foundation now. So when you're in your later years and you're making good money at a good job, because not everybody's walking out of college into a good job. You know what I'm saying? Some of them
Yeah.
are trying to claw their way up. Claw your way up. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be at the club every weekend. It's wasted money. You ain't got to go to the strip club. It's wasted money. Don't throw your
Yeah.
money on the stage. Throw that money in the bank account. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Let that money sit for you.
Yeah.
So financial responsibility is a big thing. I think that's a big thing that those black people that are doing it well, they'll keep it in house, and they're not teaching any of the next generation outside their house that may not have that father or may not have that stable household.
Right.
They're not teaching them that it's possible.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Cause just like, like I said, you got some people that didn't grow up with either their father or their mother, so they lack certain things, or they never seen their mother or their father own a home, so they think those things is impossible. I personally think that, yes, like I said before, I feel like some young people, and it don't matter if you 30, 40, 20, 18, whatever, some people is like you can't tell them nothing, you know.
Yeah.
But one thing I really want to challenge people in general that, like, and it's a good thing to do that within your home, like, you know what I'm saying. And no one's, everyone's not in the position to be around random kids or 30-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? But if you ever get a chance where you somewhere, and I know it sounds dumb, but maybe if you go to a bar or something, you see some random dude sitting there or whatever, just watching a game or something, get to know him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if he's just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit younger than you, you know, get to know him a little bit. And, you know, if you can, you know, be that mentor, you know, and when it comes to
Yep.
anything, I think whatever the thing that God bless you with the most, and some people is lessons, you know what I'm saying? I truly believe that you're supposed to teach the people, you know, behind you, you know, so like, as a black man, you know, if you know that you struggle with your mental health, or you struggle with communicating with women properly or expressing your emotions, you know, as many young black men that's behind you, teach them that those things is okay. You know, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
mechanic, uh teach any young black boys that's willing to listen and willing to learn, show them how to change brakes, show them how to change their oil, you know what I'm saying, show them the meaning of hard work, that they don't have to go out here and make some quick money, you know what I'm saying. Quick money can come from real jobs and real trades, you know what I'm saying. And the same
Mm-hmm.
with women, you know. I think, you know, we sit here and be like, oh, you know, we're quick to judge some of the younger generation because we be like, oh, they need their ass whooped, or they need that. But a lot of us don't know their real circumstance. We don't know what's going on within their homes. If they're willing to listen, if they're willing to learn, you know what I'm saying? If you're able to be in a room with them, or any chance that you possibly get, I think it's your duty. I really think it's our duty, the fact that God allowed us to reach the age that we are, because everyone isn't blessed to reach 30 something years old or 50. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's your job to teach as much as you can behind you, if they're willing to listen and learn, you know. Um, so that us as a community can, um you know, really like strive, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of our, it's quick to judge, you know what I'm saying. um but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, if you ain't pouring, that's the way that you pour it back into your community, you know what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
Especially with the younger generation, they are the future, you know. So um yeah, I don't know. I really just challenge people to do that. I think it's easier for me because I do come in contact with random people, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, as a woman of a certain age or a man of a certain age, and don't sleep on even people in their 30s, because even in your 30s, we still need reassurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, one of my clients, I don't know her exact age, but she might be 40, okay? She's going through it in a terrible domestic relationship, okay? Her
Mm.
mother, who I'm going to say she's either maybe in her 60s or something, sent her a whole text message, her and her sister, and it was so powerful, of like reassuring yourself. I raise strong women. I need you to get
Mm.
back focused. I need you to get your homes together. I need you to instill this into your children. So that's why you can't sleep on, okay, yeah, some people be like, um, you know, people lost their mothers, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But that just show you right there, even in your 30s you're still making mistakes, even in your 40s you're still making mistakes, even in your 60s 50s you still making mistakes, you know what I'm saying. And sometimes
Hell
when
yeah.
we go through each phase in our life, we need to hear that, you know what I'm saying. Just because you're technically grown at 30 or technically grown at 40 and 50, it doesn't mean that you still not learning life lessons. And if someone can pour that reassurance into you, you know what I'm saying, and still teach you things, it can still help you guide you on your life path, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just challenge people to do that, and I do try to do that even with the business thing, because even before I started a business, I would reach out to people and try to ask them things that I just didn't know. Like, and it's like, yeah, you can Google things, but it's like you're not gonna understand and process everything just looking it up from Google. Sometimes it's better to connect with someone that's done it themselves, like you said, Don. So
Yeah,
I have a lot of clients that want to start their own business or have started their own business, and I know a lot of the biggest thing is like the LLC. People get so nervous with the LLC, and that was something I was nervous with too, because it's like, oh, I start this LLC, and then I don't understand the business taxes, and you know what I'm saying. But people have asked me, and I be like, they'll ask me questions, and I'll tell them everything that I know, and I'll be like, if you still don't understand, do not be afraid to reach back out to me and ask me, because I
that's
remember
right.
how it felt when I didn't understand it. People was really giving me their ass to kiss. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, girl, figure it
Yep.
out on your own, and I hated that feeling, so I look at it like now, everything that I learned, I want to teach the next people. And yeah, I can't get through to everybody, because some people be like, you can't tell me nothing, but shit, I feel so proud of the people and even the young people or whoever that I have reached, because I had people like, Bridget, thank you so much. You really helped me get my credit together. I got approved of this credit card, and that to me though, that's what make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? That I'm able to help
Yeah.
somebody else. So I just challenge everybody, what I'm saying? It don't matter what your age, and even people that is just 10 years younger than you. You know what I'm saying? Do not think that because someone's 40 and they technically grown, that they don't need help in a certain department.
They don't always know. They don't
Yeah.
always know. And when I started, when I had my jewelry business, same thing. Like you said, I went to so many people and they would just be like, nah, you just got to figure it out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you already doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, let me figure it out from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Teach me. And
Yep.
they wouldn't. And I remember I got a damn retail seller's license when I got my jewelry business. And I was like, oh, this is something you have to do. You got to get a
Mm-hmm.
retail license. Man, when them taxes came for my ass, and I was like, yo, nobody told me that you got to pay your taxes monthly when you
Quarterly.
first
Yeah.
get a retail license. No saying,
Yeah.
and then it moves to quarterly, and then it moves to yearly. I'm like, I used to get the letters in the mail, and I'm like, oh, they just prepare me for the end of the year like everybody else. Hell no, the motherfuckers took a whole paycheck from me because I had a regular job, plus I was doing that on the side. And when I finally sat down with them, and they were willing to, because now they got my money. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Now they done took my money. And
Right.
I'm sitting there having a conversation with them, and they're like, no, so every time you receive that, you actually got to fill out you include your receipts, send it back to us, and we'll decide what your taxes are, your retail taxes,
Right.
not your just your regular taxes, but your retail taxes. That has to be done every single month. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn, I was like, yo, cancel that retail license. Fuck that shit. Like, because when I finally talked to somebody who owned the jewelry store and was willing to talk to me, it was like until you really start making that money, don't get no retail license. And I was like, where the fuck was you at when I was sitting there trying to talk to somebody about this shit? My
Right.
first LLC. I was like, oh, okay, I get an EIN LLC, made in the shade. I'm
Mm-hmm.
applying for shit, and they're like, under my business name, and they're like, hell no. And I'm like, what,
Right.
what the hell am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
did what everybody told me, get an LLC. You got to, there's certain things that you got to do on the back end. But if if you were to hold on to that information and the next young lady that sits in your chair and she may want to do nails, you know what I'm saying? And you're sitting there like, yeah, I know everything I could tell her, but nah, I'm gonna hold on to this information for myself. Like,
Yeah.
what does it benefit you? Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And I said that before, like me personally, like just like, okay, we just talked about this whole little Diddy documentary thing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, someone reached the top of the top, and now the truth is being revealed, and now you're known for what? Your legacy is not what it was. You feel me? I'd
Right.
rather when I leave this earth to know, not be satisfied with my own accomplishments, but how I help the next
Mm-hmm.
person. You know what I'm saying? As much as I could, um But yeah, I don't try to withhold nothing, and I don't try to overstep my boundaries too. That's like I have a client, she's in her 40s and she's going through the home buying process. Even though I never bought a home, I was with my mom when she bought her house, my sister when she bought her house. I'm learning about it too. So I know some things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Versus someone who's
Hmm.
never been around anybody who has bought a house, you know. And you could tell she didn't know some things. And so I don't like to overstep because I don't want to like make it seem like, oh, I know more than you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know everything, but I knew she wasn't really educated when it came to something about buying a home, you know? And so I told her what I
Hmm.
thought, you know, and it's just like any little thing that you can do to help people, and especially if you see that they sitting right in front of you and they struggling with it and you got the answer. Why are you holding it back? You know,
Right.
it's not gonna take from you and your accomplishments, you know, and me personally, I think that's really what determines like good people. You know what I'm saying? And if people is gatekeeper, you really not a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
cause a good person, right? If you know that you was able to grind your way and put yourself in a position, you know, you want to create more people that can put themselves in a position. That's not gonna hurt you. I would love to see people win.
Hell
Why?
yeah. Like I want
Why wouldn't I
everybody
want
to
to see
win.
people win?
Like
I
it
don't want to
doesn't
see
it
people in
doesn't
fucked up
take money out your
situations.
pocket. Right. It
Exactly.
takes no money out your pocket to help somebody else out.
Yeah, I
They're
don't.
not asking you for money, they're asking you for information. Information is plenty.
Right. I don't like seeing people in fucked up situations because I don't like being in a fucked up situation, you know.
Right.
So I feel like anything that I learn, I want to pass it along, even if it is reassurance. Because sometimes I don't know the answer, but I do know. Look, you're doing really, really good. Give
Hmm.
yourself some grace. You like for example, I never bought a house, right? And one of my clients who was like I said, these younger kids is like really striving, you know, like
Hmm.
they is not playing out here, you know, 21 years old, just bought his own house. And we've been talking about it because you know I've been talking about it with him or whatever. So I just seen him, he like, yeah, I finally closed on my house, like, you know, this, that, and the third.
Wow.
And in the midst of him not realizing of how powerful it is for you to be a 21-year-old black male who bought your first home, right? He sat
Hmm.
there and wanted to not complain, but felt like he needed to justify why he has no furniture in his house. I said, but you got a house
You
at
got a
21 years
house.
old.
Shit, there's some people with furniture with no house. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I
I'd rather
said,
the house.
right. And I said, even though I've never owned my own home, I said, and then the furniture is gonna come. That I had to reassure him that
Hmm.
that's something that a lot of people, when they buying their first home, they take their time with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, give yourself grace. Who cares that you don't got no furniture in this house? But you got a house at 21
Right.
years old. How many 21-year-old black men do you know own their own home and did it on their own?
Not many. Not many.
Exactly. That was an accomplishment in itself, you know. So I had to, even though it's like, all right, I can't really teach. I had to, you know, reassure you, like, you are doing very fine. You don't need to explain why you don't have a dining room table. You don't need to explain why you
Right.
don't have a couch. That don't even matter. Let me tell you now, that don't even matter, you know. And
Shit,
you
you
could
own
tell
a
even
home. Women to come sit on the damn floor. It's your house. You know what I'm
exactly, you know.
saying?
So I just had to you know, and you could tell made him feel better because it's like you don't gotta justify why you don't have no, that's your shit. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
don't need to justify why you don't have furniture in your house. Like
Right.
it's yours. You worked hard for that, you know? Um so yeah, I don't know. I think that was like the whole thing with my topic. I just want people to, you know, pour into the next person, whether they're younger, older, anybody willing to learn. If people reach out to you, don't hesitate to help people, you know, and
Yeah.
also don't ever sleep on the fact that people need reassurance. You know, reassurance to me is
Yeah.
a really big thing. Y'all never know what people are going through. And just a common text just saying like, yo, you really doing your thing, you know what I'm saying, I'm really
Hmm.
proud of you, y'all don't understand how much that will amp somebody up. Like, you know what I'm saying? To keep going, because you don't know if they feeling like they want to give up. You know, life is not easy, you know, but don't sleep on that. People need reassurance, you know, at all ages, you know. So
Yeah. So I challenge everybody. I know that the year is coming up. This is our last show for the year, y'all. We gonna take a break. We tired. We
mm-hmm.
tired. We gonna take a break for the last few weeks of the year. But I do challenge everybody. Stop with this new year, new me. How about you do something different?
Mm-hmm.
How about you teach somebody something that you've learned along the way that might help them through for the next day or next week?
Mm-hmm.
Don't gatekeep the information. Take this show, play it back over and over. If you need to be reminded, play this show back over and over again and just say, look, there is somebody somewhere who is willing to sit down and listen, who's going to take the knowledge that I have gained over the last 30, 40, 50 years of my life, and they are going to run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, they may surpass you, and that's fine, because their success doesn't mean your failure. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still be in the position that you're in. If they're 20 years old and you're 35, 40 years old, and you're teaching them something that you learned along the way, they should take it and run with it. They got more time.
Yeah.
They got more time to play with it. They got more time to master it. But teach them. Teach somebody. I'm gonna make it my personal goal to at least, and I'm not talking about my sons. They ain't got no choice but to learn from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it my personal goal for 2026 to at least sit down with 3 young men. I'll try to do 5, but if I get 3, I'm good.
Even if you get
But at
one.
least 3. Even if it's only one, if I could just get
Mm-hmm.
one young man to see something different about
Mm-hmm.
the future than they see right now,
Yeah.
based on the things that I've done or have not done until it was later on in life. That young man who's 21, by the time he's my age,
Mm-hmm.
his house is paid off.
Yeah.
Like
It will be
that
definitely.
and he's gonna be my age like that. This shit don't take long. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You
Yeah.
blink and 30 years has passed. It's gonna pass whether you buy a house or not. 30
Yeah.
years is gonna go by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think people shouldn't sleep on the impact, you know, you have on some people's lives. And the thing about it is, you don't want to be known for someone that was gatekeeping, you know, pushing people down on the way up. You want to be known for, you know, I'm helping the next person. Because one thing is, when you impact someone's life, most people who are grateful for, when you really teach them something, they're never going to forget you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to give you your flowers. They'll never forget. Like, no, you could probably say that in your life too. You'll never forget the people that helped you and taught you things, teach you things,
I
you know?
never like, and there was times when people would try to teach me things and I didn't listen, and then it came back later on to bite me on my ass, and I went back and told them I should have listened to you. But
Yeah.
there's so many people in my life that I've come in contact with, probably starting at about 18,
Mm-hmm.
who has taught me so many things, life lessons that I keep with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I may not be the best person on this planet, but I'm a good person because good people have gotten around me and they've said things to me and they've changed my life.
Yeah.
So, and I'll never forget them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
On their birthdays, and I'll give them a shout out, and they be like, "You still reach out?" Yeah, still reach out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you still did something for me that nobody else could have done. You know what I'm saying? You taught me that one thing that only you knew that way, and I was able to accept it and understand it. You taught me in a way that I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I used to work in law enforcement, I was doing a ride along with this police officer, and he stopped and played basketball with these kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it meant nothing to him. It was just something we was really trying to break up the monotony of the day. One of those
Mm-hmm.
kids that he played basketball with later became a cop. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you never know when you're gonna touch somebody's life and really change it. So starting 2026, everybody just reach at least one person. Try to
Yeah.
reach one person.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely tune in 2026 because we got a lot more for y'all. We're gonna give y'all some love. We're gonna give y'all some sex. But we
Mhm.
definitely gonna talk about society type stuff because we missing it because I think we rely on social media to teach us as opposed to real people doing real things. So we're gonna talk to y'all about that. So we will see y'all next year.
Yes.
Please do us a favor if you haven't done so. Hit the like, subscribe, hit that share button. Share with somebody who may need this information.
Mhm.
Reach back or reach up. It may be somebody older than you who need this information. Send it to them. They may appreciate it. So until 2026, folk, be easy. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
Later, people.
This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Dawn. Please like, subscribe, and share.